I'm just trying to come up with a better way, the cheapest way to put fat on them chickens. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Papa's Place. Guys, I hope y'all all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Everybody's doing well. Me personally, I'm doing great compared to what it could be, but I went out of the year sick and coming into the new one sick, but the good thing is it's all just old head crud. It's been like that since October. It's like all I can do is get well for about a week, week and a half. The mess comes right back, but the good thing is that every time I go back, I ain't had the old COVID, and I ain't had the flu, and it's just been head crud over and over and over. Along with back issues, starting at about the end of September, and this back issue here I got, I ain't gonna say it's something I did because it ain't something that just arrived. I'll pop a picture up here of my back, what it looks like, but I went to the doctor for a couple of months there, and finally he told me I need to go to chiropractor, so I've been going to chiropractor 2 or 3 days a week. And it has got better. Now I'm still always in some type of pain, but it ain't nothing like it was. But I gotta get all that fixed, because it won't be long here in a few more days, weeks. I gotta get back to my yard cleanups and mowing and all that good stuff. But today's video, I'm doing some little experimenting for myself on how to fatten a chicken for the finishing process, which some of you know I'm doing the American breast chickens now. And the first ones I grew out, the first roosters I fattened, because to do them like they did over in France, you're supposed to fatten them up on your grains and soaked in raw milk for 2 to 4 weeks before you process them. On them first roosters I done, if any of y'all seen them videos, I used powdered milk, because I ain't got no cow to milk, and I ain't got no goat to milk. And Chase, I ain't got no pig to milk. That's an inside joke, guys. Chase know what I'm talking about. But anyhow, I used powdered milk because I wasn't going to go buy expensive whole milk to see if I could fatten these chickens up. Now the chickens, when I harvest them, if y'all seen that video, if I can find a clip, I'll put it in here. They still had plenty of fat on them, but they wouldn't have that fat to make that breast meat marbleize like they say it should do, or you can get it to do. Now, there wasn't nothing wrong with the chicken. It's still a great chicken to eat. But I'm one that they said to do it. I want to see if I can do it. But I ain't going to buy no cow to do it. So, what am I doing? Well, I had this idea. I was doing that with powdered milk, just because I could get that powdered milk basically for free. But I didn't realize till I was about halfway through that process, all of that powdered milk that I had stored up wasn't whole milk. The majority of it was non-fat milk. So therefore that tells me a powdered milk wasn't doing nothing on that fattening them chickens up before. So I'm like, well, how can you get the dairy product into that chicken if you ain't got a cow to milk and a goat to milk, and you don't want to buy the expensive milk, but yet you'd like to try this? So I went and I bought some butter, the cheapest unsalted butter I could find. And right now I'm going to stop and pop up a clip of me fixing my feed up and how I go about doing it. So guys, I'm using unsalted butter, Best Choice brand. Basically the cheapest butter that I could get out of the grocery store. Tax and all, I'm going to say, I know it was less than $3, but I'm going to just say $3, tax and all. This would be 32 servings in this box for $3. And for the way I'm doing this first test on this first chicken, that'll be 16 days. Now I've already started this, like I was saying earlier, but I was reading on here, total fat per serving of butter is 1 tablespoon. So I'm putting 1 tablespoon per cup of cracked corn, and I do two cups a day prepared for the next day. But it shows 15% total fat, 35% saturated fat, and 10% cholesterol, but I ain't worrying about that. I was just looking at the fat content versus what a cup of fresh whole milk is. And I'm thinking, since I don't have that cow or that goat to get fresh whole milk, I'm not gonna buy milk to fatten up a chicken. So I thought I would try this, at least on this first chicken. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut off here for 2 tablespoons. If I was in a hurry, I'd go in the house and put it in a cup and put it in the microwave. But I'm gonna use my coffee cup right here, because it's just butter. I'm gonna use this boiling water. And then I got a fork over here that I actually eat off of. And I'm gonna melt this butter in this boiling water. While that's melting, I'm gonna put my other butter back in the ice box over here. Now, as y'all seen, or some of you seen my video where I fattened up some of them breast chickens and roosters that I processed, I'm assuming the milk didn't have nothing, the powdered milk didn't have nothing to do with what fat was on them. It was all due to the chopped corn. Because at that time, I really didn't pay attention that some of these powdered milk that I had is non-fat dry milk. So it don't have no fat content in it. But since I have this and it didn't cost me nothing, I'm gonna put a little bit of that on this test on this chicken. This is what I'm using, this non-fat powdered milk and the cheap butter. And I don't measure the milk, I just put enough in there, guesstimating at it. Now my butter is melted, stir that up. Then I'm gonna pour this on this chopped corn here. And as cold as it is, what I do, I got a little lid I put on here. And I set this out there in my chicken brooder, since it stays warm in here, and this will be the feed for the rooster for tomorrow. We're gonna mix that up real good. Now it ain't quite got enough liquid in it, so I'm gonna put some more water in it. But once it soaks that up, there won't be no liquid showing. And I'll leave it just sitting right here until it cools, and then when I walk out to the brooder pen later on, I'll take this and set it in there so it'll be out there for in the morning. So now I'm finna go out there and feed the rooster that I'm fattening up to show y'all. And actually this feed will be for this afternoon and tomorrow morning. Now let me wash my coffee cup out so I can get me some more coffee. Again, I didn't put nothing in my coffee cup but butter and powdered milk. And that's 2 things that I would eat or drink anyway, so ain't nothing here to harm me. I did use my fork, so I'm gonna have to be sure to wash that good. Because I have a stick right here that I leave here to do this with, and then grab my fork and stir the corn up. But that's all right. That's a clean bowl, clean corn. So as you see there, what I did, I started this actually about 4 days ago before this video. Before I decided to start this video to show you guys, and it's something y'all gonna have to follow along, or at least come processing day I'll put on there that I'm finna process this test rooster here, and we're gonna see if this fat from this butter, because if it works, that'll only cost me $3 to fatten up a rooster for approximately 4 weeks. So that's the only, I'm gonna be feeding him the chopped corn anyway, so I don't count that, and I don't count the powdered milk I'm putting in there, because I didn't pay for that. And someone's wondering how I got powdered milk for free. Well, I tell you, it's all your older people in the neighborhood, them government programs, they give them powdered milk. Well, ain't no way one old lady or one old couple can use as much powdered milk they get. So when I give them some eggs, or I give them some stuff out of the garden, they give me stuff like that. And well, of course, with what's going on in the world, I was happy to have that powdered milk. You never did know when we was gonna have to depend on it. But it done got to where it was getting so much, I'm like, well, now I'm going to start using some on these chickens. So that's where the powdered milk come from that I'm saying free. I guess it was free, but in a way it wasn't free, because I was trading stuff out. But that's free to me. I was going to give them the eggs and vegetables anyway. So we're going to test this rooster here. The day I started with this little idea here, and I decided that I was going to eat this rooster. That's one of the roosters that I'd saved from the eggs I hatched from Mandolin Royal. I was going to save him as a backup rooster. But now that I got all these chicks that I got from Chase over at Recreational Homestead, if you look, when I have this clip up here on this rooster here, you look at his right wing. It's kind of like it's a split wing if you open it up, but I don't really think that's considered a split wing. But when you open it up, it's like out here on the end, it's twisted and his feathers stick out. But even on his left wing, his feathers don't close in, his wings don't close in tight and pretty. And I have been doing a lot of research and a lot of reading and a lot of listening to Mandolin Royal and watching her videos, and they say if you're going to select a breed, you can't be soft-hearted on culling. You got to cull hard and just keep a couple of your best of the best each time you breed if you're going to try to go somewhere with this. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to use this rooster since I got one rooster from Mandolin. And I'm going to start out with one of my breed pens. I got my other breed pens. I got my one best rooster from Breast Farms, and with my 4 best roosters from my hat from Mandolin Royal. And then I got 20 more chicks from Chase coming on. So 21 chicks, I know I'm going to have several roosters to choose from. So out of them, I'll save me a backup rooster in case one of my 3 something happens to it, and I need a rooster. I want to have a 4th one just for a backup. So that's why I decided this late in the game, this rooster's somewhere around 6 months old, which is old to be processing to me, but this is a test thing where I can see if this butter, I put fat on them and make that meat marbling. He weighed, the other day when I started this, I weighed him because I wanted to weigh. He was already 7 pounds, 0.2 ounces, which is a nice size rooster. But this rooster, the reason he was my second choice, well, beside the wing deal, he was a slow maturing rooster. But still, even though he was a slow and maturing rooster, he still gave me the other traits, because the number 1 trait is the meat. This is for meat eating, so I'm going for not losing the meat. The other thing he had going for him, he had a cone that wasn't so tall and big, and I like that. I don't like the big tall. I think a lot of these breast chickens, to me, the cones is extremely too tall. But the one good thing about the cones being big, even if they're a little oversized, is down here in the south, that'll help them in the summer cooling, and we don't get them extreme winters for the most part, to where you got to worry about them getting frostbite. So down here it's a little better, I guess, to have the taller cones than you guys up north. But for looks, I like this kind of the medium, mid-sized cone, I would call it. So again, that's my little project I got going on. Experimental on this rooster here. I'll be giving updates as I go along. Now I ain't gonna weigh this rooster no more until it's processing day, and then I'll weigh it. And when we process it, we'll get a close up and see what the fat is. I still got some pictures of the first ones I done. And then I never did show y'all on video when I looked at the meat on the two that we eat, that it really didn't have the marbling in it like they say they ought to get. And that's why I'm wanting to try this little process. So if it comes out and it has the marbling in it, I'll be sure to show y'all what they're talking about marbling in the meat. Supposed to make it a lot more juicier and easier to cook. But at the same time, the birds you're going to be eating is your coil birds, which is always going to be your smaller birds or something, traits that you don't want. You ain't going to be processing your best birds unless you really done got your flock going. Now guys, I've been doing a lot of reading and a lot of research on breeding chickens, selective breeding, breeding for traits, breeding for color. But what's got me going on right now, and we're going to get into this homemade incubator here in a minute. That's something else I'm experimenting with. Okay guys, we finna stop this video right here. Because after going in the house and started editing this video, it was going to be extremely too long. So I'm going to make 2 videos out of this. So the videos ending today was going to be, the main focus is on how can you more affordably, if you don't have a cow or a goat to milk to use for your milk, as fattening your breast chickens and finish them at the end. I'm just trying to come up with a better way, of the cheapest way to put fat on them chickens for the finishing feed. So if you got another way of doing this that's on the cheap side for your average backyard poultry owner, like I said, everybody don't have milk cows, milk goats, and I ain't sure how to milk that pig yet. But anyway, that's what this focus was about. The next video is going to be coming up in a few days, and it's going to be going into my homemade incubator, and I may be saying something that reflects back to this video, so that's what's be going on. That I had to split this video in half, which is good for me, because since I've been sick, usually I keep a couple or 2 videos of some type to throw in there in between that really don't matter if it's date related or not. So guys, I hope you enjoy these little videos. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Leave some type of comment, because my algorithm needs to be built up on my YouTube channel. Whether good or bad, say something funny, just say hello. If you would, just put a comment down there. But as always, I hope y'all have a great day and a blessed week. God bless. See y'all next time.